So, good morning, everyone. First of all, I also want to thank Professor Manoj Pandey sir for giving me an opportunity to discuss about basic things about how to write systematic review or meta-analysis. I welcome respected esteemed faculty members who have come from other cities and also the faculties from our Institute of Medical Sciences and our students. And our respected Professor Ashok Chaudhary sir, who is ex-DN of Institute of Medical Science, BHU. Myself, Dr. Lalit Kumar Agarwal, working as an assistant professor in Department of Urology, Institute of Medical Science, BHU. Today, I will be discussing about advanced strategies for literature search and what is PICO and what's its use. First of all, about disclosures, there are no financial conflict of interest or financial disclosures. But I want to disclose, I want to thank my research student Anuja for helping me in preparing the slides. So how we start the literature research? As we all know, if we are going to search on any topic, there will be millions of the literature will be available. So we have to find out what is relevant to us, what is related to our topic, what is related to our objectives. So that's what very important. So that is differentiate between the normal narrating or scoping review or between the systematic review. So the as the name suggests systematic review, so it's go by step in systematic way, right? So how we can do the advanced literature search in a systematic manner? So for any research, whether it's related to the original study or whether it's related to the systematic review, there should be any question or particular objective should be in our mind. Like I want to evaluate between chemotherapy and radiotherapy in ovarian cancers. Then we can also define about the population, whether in females or males or particular stage of cancers. So that's how first we have to define about our objective or questions. So for that literature search, we need specific keywords. So in such scenario, we have keywords like ovarian cancers, females, chemotherapy or radiotherapy, for example. So there are specific medical subject headings or keywords or Boolean terminologies that narrow down our search, or they can extend our search also. If we use and, so the search will be more specific. So if I search stress urinary incontinence, I will explain later by examples also. So near about, just for example, like 2 lakh articles will come. But if I include stress urinary incontinence and females, so that search will narrow down to thousands of papers. So that's why these Boolean terminologies are important while searching in different search engines. There are various search engines also available, and it's important if it's a good systematic review, the literature should come from various search engines. There are search engines like PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, Medline, Embase, Science Direct. So there are many literature engines, and if we are including two search engines, so there are chances we can skip some important studies. So that's why search engines, and to select those search engines, that is also important part of literature search. Gray literature, even after searching through systematic way, there are chances we can miss some important studies. We can miss some important conference finding or some important guidelines, consortium platforms. So there comes the role of manual search or gray literature. So this is just for the newcomers who are just joining, who are just learning about the systematic review and meta-analysis. So I will just go in brief, just defining first. We have to define the research questions. Then we have to register about our systematic review. That is Prospero registration. It's very important. It's not only about the Prospero registration, it also helps us in evaluating about whether our questions is specific or not. मतलब जब हमने वी हैव नोटिस्ड कि अगर हमने कोई पेपर बनाया है and if there are questions or their findings are not clear, sometimes we have to manipulate at the end. So before doing the search, your all the objectives, your statistical analysis test, your research questions, your PICO, these all should be clear in hand. Even we can publish our this methodology on Prospero registration. There comes an option whether you want to publish it or not. But it's not like that. If it is not registered in the Prospero, you cannot publish the systematic review. You can publish it, but if it is registered already there in Prospero, the publication become easier. Then comes the literature search. That is the my topic that I will discuss. Then Boolean operators, how we do the search. Study selection, whether we have to include the randomized trials, prospective studies, retrospective studies, case series, case reports. So that's about the study selection. Then comes the data extraction. If we have included like 5 studies or 6 studies, we have to exclude the we have to include the data relevant to our objectives. That is data extraction. Before that also come the quality assessment. There are various tools available for quality assessment of studies, different for randomized trials, prospective, retrospective studies. Like we usually use JBL, JBL tool for assessment of the quality of studies. There are other are like Newcastle, Ottawa scale. Then comes the role of data synthesis. In the systematic review, this comes to end here only. Like we can give the qualitative assessment of the included studies, and also we can see the quantitative parameters, but that will be in the tables. In the meta-analysis, we compare the groups also, and then interpretation and report writing. So I think it's clear till now. If there are any doubt, we can ask. So now comes the Prospero registration that I mentioned. We can go on the study, we can type the Prospero on the Google, and that there will be a link. On that link, we have to study about our systematic review or meta-analysis. So it's international prospective registers of systematic reviews. This is the recently we have published the meta-analysis regarding the assessing the clinical efficacy of neoadjuvant intravesical metomycin C therapy in non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, a systematic review and meta-analysis. First, we have registered in the Prospero, and we can also publish the Prospero part also, right? So first we have to register. Now, importance of literature review and research. And we think we can search the literature and we can write the paper. Why it's needed? So literature search is important to improve the knowledge or establish a theory in the field. Secondly, all research builds on existing established knowledge in the field. It also helps in familiarizing the extent of knowledge. If we are thinking we are doing something new, but it's already published, it's already well established, so there is no particular advantage of publishing that systematic review and meta-analysis. So first we have to identify the research gaps or what is needed, what is novelty in our systematic review and meta-analysis, and if it's still not novel, whether it's up from the updated literature or there is some literature that has been added before the meta-analysis. This literature review also helps to trace the progress of knowledge and relations between various thoughts. Fifth, this helps in establishing the limits of the available information and identifying gaps in the knowledge that I have already discussed. And it also offers an insight into authors' depth of their knowledge into the field. So, systematic search about the literature is a structured and comprehensive approach to find the relevant research. It identifies the all relevant studies and we can exclude the studies which are not of our interest. This is the evidence based decision. As we grade our studies, like it's level 1, 2, 3, 4, or recommendation like A, B, C. So that's how, if we are including good randomized control trials, so our systematic review and meta-analysis will also have grade A or B recommendation, like good recommendations. This also helps in identifying the research gaps. It also helps in avoiding the duplication. I will show when we transfer we do the search on the PubMed or on Scopus, how we delete these duplicate articles, and it enhances the credibility. So if one systematic review is saying some statement and another normal review is saying some statement, the statement of systematic review is more evident as compared to normal narrative review. What is PICO? I think all are aware about PICO. What is PICO? In randomized trials or in prospective studies or in also in systematic review and meta-analysis, we have to define about the PICO. P, population; I, intervention; C, comparison; and O, outcomes. Why PICO is important? It helps researchers to systematically identify the key components of research questions to facilitate literature searches and evidence synthesis. Just for an example, if we have to evaluate regarding Kegel exercise or pelvic floor muscle exercise with no treatment in stress urinary incontinence in females. So population will be females with urinary incontinence, intervention will be pelvic floor muscle exercise, and comparison will be no treatment or standard care. It's comparison में जरूरी नहीं है कि control will be without no treatment. There can be standard treatment also, right? So we can compare the two groups, intervention and comparison. And last, O is for outcome. What are our outcomes? Improvement in urinary incontinence, improvement in the quality of life. So that's how we have to define the outcome. This we have discussed the different studies, whether RCT, meta-analysis or observational studies can use this PICO principle. So in PICO, you have to formulate the PICO questions. We have to identify the keywords for each PICO elements. Like we publish the paper, we define the keywords below the abstract. That's how there should be specific keywords. That helps in planning your search strategy, execute the search, refining your results or narrowing down your results, reviewing the literature and assess the evidence. This is another example of PICO. So we have to use the PICO to develop the research questions, to organize results and to evaluate study quality. Like they have defined the population of 16 to 25. They have compared the HIV prevention campaigns to with or without text messaging. In one group they have messaged regarding that, and in another group they have not messaged. And then they are assessing the impact on HIV transmission. This was the peak of our study that was published. So in our study, the population was non-muscle invasive bladder cancer patients. Intervention was assessing the efficacy of neoadjuvant intravesical mitomycin therapy before surgery with no treatment, right? And comparator outcome is we have compared with regarding recurrence free survival and progression free survival, and also with the safety of the neoadjuvant mitomycin treatment. So they were the outcome parameters. अब बात आती है कि how we can search about the database. There are various database available, but the common database I use or the most of the researcher use are like PubMed, Medline, Embase, Scopus, Google Scholar, Cochrane Library, Web of Science, Science Direct, and Clinical Trial Government. So these are various search engines. Some are paid, but now thanks to director sir, Initially we were able to address only the PubMed only, but now with as we have taken the library subscription of AIMS New Delhi, so we are also able to access this Medline, Embase and Scopus. Sometimes they need the institutional login ID and password. Even Cochrane, you can access the articles, but sometimes if you have to access the randomized control trials, you need to take the subscription. So that is the one drawback. So that's why team approach is important in while writing systematic review or meta analysis. So if some of your friend is having subscription, so that becomes easier. We can divide the job. There are other database also available for literature research that is related to the specific area, like Sinal for nursing literature search, Psych Info for psychology. Similarly, there are other database also. I will not go in details. These are very important. Boolean terminology or Boolean operators. ना we will show. And means narrow down. जिस स्टडी में मान लो फीमेल एंड स्ट्रेस यूरिनरी इनकॉन्टिनेंस है, if the study is having both the components, then only that article will comes if we are applying and if we are applying or ओवेरियन कैंसर इन फीमेल तो वो भी आ जाएगा अगर हम फीमेल और स्ट्रेस यूरिनरी इनकॉन्टिनेंस सर्च करेंगे तो, राइट. So that's why and is most commonly used, not if we have to exclude the terms like stress urinary incontinence, not males. These are the examples. I will show later how we have used the Boolean terminology. We will also have hands-on workshop. This is more of theoretical. You just have a basic idea how we are going to search the literature. ये हमने अभी जस्ट 2-3 दिन पहले किया. How we do the literature search. This pointer. We have typed on the PubMed urinary incontinence and females and randomized control trial and pelvic floor exercise. Okay. Oh, angle screen.
माउस यूज कर सकते हो इनके कहने का मतलब वॉइस माउस
This pointer is visible, right? So if we okay, fine, right. So if we have to search, मान लो हमें systematic review and meta analysis if we want to do on impact of pelvic floor muscle therapy in stress urinary incontinence in females, that is our objective. So how we are going to search? We have to type urinary incontinence and females and randomized controlled trials and pelvic floor muscle exercise, because there are various literature. So I want to include only randomized controlled trials, right? So there are 568 results. You can see there are 568. There are various filters available for how many years we need the literature, whether we need 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or we can customize according to our choice, our objectives, right? So that's how we have to do the literature search. Now I have changed. I have added the stress urinary incontinence. Means urinary incontinence में जिसमें stress urinary incontinence है, this is going to pick up only those articles. So initially there were more than 500 articles. Now it's showing 250 results. Everyone clear? We have just changed. We have just added one word. This is about OR. If we are using OR, urinary incontinence or stress urinary incontinence or females, so there are more than 6 lakhs articles. It's not possible to evaluate the 6 lakhs articles. I think nobody else can evaluate. Yes, we can take the help of AI engines, AI tools, but it's very difficult to evaluate because there will be a lot of heterogeneity will be in the literature search. So that's about the OR. If we have searched only the stress urinary incontinence, in urinary incontinence there were more than 6 lakhs. In stress urinary incontinence, it's near about 12,000. So that's how we have to define the 3-4 keywords. We have to use the specific booleans. If we have used the not stress urinary incontinence, not males, that narrow down little bit, 12,000 to 10,000, because stress urinary incontinence is more common in females. So 10,000 has been included. 2,000 articles related to the males have been excluded. This is about Scopus. We have done the one engine search. PubMed is over. Now comes to the Scopus. It's similarly, we can apply the filters. We can type the specific keywords and or not, and we can have list of documents like 365 when we have used this mesh terminology or keywords. When we have used the RG urinary incontinence rather than urinary incontinence, it has narrowed down the search from 300 to 112, right? And if stress urinary incontinence, on the Cochrane analysis, Cochrane, because most of the good randomized trials are available on the Cochrane, we have to register on the Cochrane. So there are search are 18 reviews and 342 trials. I was not able to open the trials because I don't have the subscription, but we can see the reviews, right? This is about urinary incontinence, RG urinary incontinence, so we can have 10 similarly. So let's example, we have now thousands of data from different engines. So उसमें से definitely there will be duplications कि एक ही article है वो it will be available on different engines. So we have to remove the duplicates. That how we are going to do that. So there are various reference managers or site managers are available like Jotaro, Mendeley. I personally use Jotaro. So first we have to save that file from the PubMed. We usually save in BibTeX, and then we have to open the Jotaro, and then we can import that file from PubMed. We will go in the file that we will have on hands on how we do that. We can import that file from PubMed. So that will show these articles. This will right. I preferably use Jotaro, but it's your choice. You can use anyone. It's better to master on one rather than going on every, right. So that's the process of importing, how we are importing this file. So can we see these are two duplicates, both same author, same at all. If we will click on this, one article will be deleted. So it will remove all the duplicates, right? So at last we have some 50, 100 or 150 articles. This is about Prisma diagram for studies selection. So it's important to have Prisma for systematic review and meta-analysis both. So regarding our study, first we have identified the literature through literature search. There were 501 articles. We removed the duplicates as I have showed. So there were 295 articles remained in screening phase. Then we have removed review paper, case series, editorial comments, as I have to include only the randomized trials. Then comes it 39. Then we have manually studied all the abstract and articles, whether they are relevant to our objective or not. So that's how we further excluded articles, and at last we have 3 studies that were directly comparing our objectives. There are various AI tools nowadays available for literature research. So I think I will not go much in details of every search engines. There are Semantic, Elicit AI, ChatGPT. We everybody knows about ChatGPT. There are Eliphas. So we will deal one by one. Semantic Scholar is more or like PubMed. We can search the different topics. It will show multiple of articles. We can identify the citation graph and influential research trends. Then elicit AI, there are cite that is related to the citations. How the one article citation we can find out in another articles. This is chat GPT. There are connected papers. If we have 2 3 articles, we can, if we upload in this, so we can find out the related articles. That is connected papers. Similarly, research rabbit, Eliphaz, it's related to the writing paper. They can correct your sentences, they can correct the rephrases. Then typeset, consensus AI, litmap. In litmap we can search also, and this will give, as the name suggests, it's a map. So they will show in map figures like the article published in 2009, then 10, 11, 12, 13. So they will show the relevant articles in litmap. Chat with any PDF, we can upload any PDF, we can discuss with the various scientists or authors available all over the world. That is chat, PDF, Iris AI, Sourcely. If we have particularly paragraph we have pasted on this, we can identify the citation from where it has been taken, right? Last two slides. So why is systematic review and literature search? Literature search is important. Why it's important? Systematic review focus on performing exhaustive literature searches to address specific research questions. However, in practice, many reviews search a limited number of database. This was just published recently from PGIMR Pondicherry. They have taken two systematic review. When they have compared these systematic review, whether they have included all the studies. So in one systematic review have included 16 studies on the same topic. Like sir and I am both are doing systematic review on female urinary incontinence. Sir has included 16 studies. I have included 11 studies. So there were only 4 studies were common. So we both have some gaps because the search was not extensive, right? So we have missed the few studies. If we are missing good studies, the review, the evidence of systematic review and meta-analysis will also not be good. And sometimes reviewer also comment, you have not included this study, right? This is about another paper, literature search in systematic review and meta-analysis. So this article result suggests that database selection could have a larger effect on conclusion from reviews. As I explained about the studies, we have to include all the studies. Similarly, it's not like we have used only PubMed and we are publishing a systematic review and meta-analysis. So there can be some articles which are not on the PubMed, but they are on Scopus. They are on Web of Science. So it's important to have more or less, I think 6 or 7 common database at least we should have include, so that the important studies we could not miss, right? So these are recently we have published 3 meta-analysis, and I think the learning continues for the life. If we stop learning, it's important to have learning continues, right? Thank you. If there are any queries, right? Yes. If for the meta-analysis part, we have CMA, that is comprehensive meta-analysis, that is CMA software. There is Revman 5 also, and there is Javomi also, right?
Yeah, Javami.
So Revman 5, some features are on free subscription, but if you have to do with the all the features, you have to take the
So we
subscription,
tried the
right?
AI tools, most were paid. And
It's not a literature search tool.
This is
Based on
meta-analysis.
top.
no. The AI tools which were mentioned, majority.
Redman is not a
No,
literature search.
Revan is not a tool. The other
Yes,
AI
I
tools.
agree with your point. They are paid. So sometimes if we are developing a team, That's how the teamwork is important. If one of us is having paid software, that is Raman 5, we can take help of that
And sir,
person.
Cochrane database, is it available in BHU access? Because
That's what I'm saying. 2 days before, I have searched the Cochrane.
from library.
No, no, not from the library, from my office in urology department. Right. You have to log in, and some for some trials you have to purchase also, right? But nowadays, if we are going on the library desktop, we can search most of the engines. Right. Yes.
So when searching for a question, if we only use mesh, if we don't use a mesh word, only use keywords, is that possible? Or we need to have a mesh word? Or we need to have a mesh term? Is it possible to only use keywords?
Mesh or keywords, they are more or less both are same. These are mesh
Hmm.
is medical subject headings.
Hmm.
Means we have to define the specific keywords, right? Keywords, and that keywords, if we are typing, we have to narrow down the search.
Hmm.
For that, we need the booleans. Agree?
ठीक है.
So if females stress urinary incontinence pelvic floor muscle therapy, they are keywords. Medical subject heading is broad term mesh,
Okay.
right?
Just to respond,
Right.
whenever we search, we use two types of keywords, two
Hmm.
type of search terminologies.
Yes.
One is based on keywords, some are free text based search. Whatever this mesh or
Right.
mesh is usually in medical subject heading, which is mainly done through Medline. Medline is the database. So through PubMed is a search engine. It's not a database.
Okay. So
From the
keywords.
database, we search. Similarly, for Embase, what we call it as M3. What do you mean by these mesh terms? These are already like in library. Where do you get, like if you want to get a physiology book, where do you get?
In that
There's a
particular
physiology
section.
catalog. They would have kept it in separate. If you want anatomy book, they'll kept it in anatomy book. So similarly, this search engines has made that catalogs. Name that word. The name, like say cancer means this. Or if they say anatomy, it also has mesh tree. It has like in terms of ordering, in terms of anatomical ordering, in terms of functional ordering, in terms of therapeutic ordering. So those are all search, key term based searching. Other aspect is just text, free text search. If,
That is
without
mesh.
saying mesh, I mean, that's why if you want to search in mesh, you need to be very careful in terms of how you give. When you want to search through mesh, it has to be within the double quotes followed by within the square bracket mesh. If you don't do any of these and simply search, it may take it as a free text search. But in PubMed, whenever it searches free text, it automatically adds synonyms.
Yes.
If you give like cancer, it may add oncology, carcinogenesis. So it automatically adds synonyms when you use free text. But when you use mesh or key terms, either in mesh in PubMed or M3 in Embase, it only links that like as a catalog. It only goes and searches in those catalogs. That is the difference between mesh and free text.
Yes.
For systematic review and meta-analysis, if your search want to be comprehensive, that means you want to include all the possible searches, it is suggested to go with the free text so that you are more open.
Yes.
But the negative side of it is you end up with lakhs and lakhs of searches. But if you want systematic search, I'm not saying systematic review. You want to have only systematic search. I want only specific things limited to specific point. So then you can use key terms such as mesh terms or M3 terms, so that your search hits are limited, but your yield of what you are looking at the kind of papers would be more.
So, just to add to it, if you want to search MASH, all you have to do is put MASH in a square bracket after the term. So, if you are searching cancer, only if you put cancer, then it is a free text search. And if you put bracket, square bracket, MASH, then it will search in the MASH. If you put TI, it will search in the title. So you can specify where the search has to be conducted, whether it is to be conducted in the MASH or in the title or in the abstract. And that is where it is going to go and search. And if you don't specify, it will search everywhere. Okay. So when we are going hands-on, we will probably teach you that.
Just one more small tip, and please be careful whenever you are using searches are open, I mean free text search, I mean without double quotes.
Yeah.
See, what do you mean by double quotes? What it does is it search exactly as within the double quotes. If you remove the double quotes, then it expands. When you are using this free text search with two words, please be careful, because if you use two double words, like say diabetes mellitus, carcinoma in situ, so it actually three words. Automatically PubMed adds and in between the space. Whenever you give the space, automatically it adds and. Even though if you add carcinoma in situ or carcinoma, it has taken and your search would be not comprehensive at all, because it has had carcinoma and in and situ. So you need to be very careful when you're searching with the free text terms, also with the double terms. So for that, if you need to use either single quotes or you need to use parentheses to say you search, take it as a single word, single group of words. So you need to be very careful in even framing your search terms. And the best thing I suggest is trial and error method. Keep on look at search, and whenever you search in advance, look at how actually PubMed is searching. That would give you a very clear cut idea about whether the search terms which you are using, either free text or keyword search, is appropriate or not.
Right.
Actually, another since this session is related to short strategy, another thing I can add here. So you know that master and entry, entry used for the embase, master for the PubMed or Medline. So at least how anyone can answer at how many minimum database do we need for the systematic review? Minimum three to four you can take, and one must be related to your subject. If you are doing randomized control trial, then Cochrane you must include also. So in that case, for example, you develop a search strategy for the PubMed. So if you want to use the article using the same search strategy from Embase or Web of Science or any Sinhal or any other database, is it same or different? What do you think? Different. Then how you will be develop that? So I will come to your answer, sir. Some AI tool is there, no? You know that there is another SR accelerator. If apply put type SR accelerator in Google search, then there is a polyglot search. So if you develop your search strategy for the PubMed, then you paste that search strategy, it will be automatically converted from the other database. How the search in the Embase, how the search in the Sinal. But I will say that it is again not 100% exact. If you say there will be error, but it will be give some kind of template or that. Then you have to correct some error. Then you will be get that. Other if you do this in manually, it will take more time. For Embase you have to develop. For Sinal you have to develop, because different search database have different search engine and they have different understanding. So you can do that. You can just type in the Google. Is there? Net is not working. No? So then we can show you in the practical session. So this will be easy. And another thing, sir, showed that EndNote and that if you have Covidence, if you have even Ryan also now AI integrated. So there you don't need to, if you paid version of Ryan, there no need of EndNote or Zotero or these things. Automatically within a fraction of second the duplicate will remove. Covidence will be remove the duplicate automatically. So for that you have to pay some amount. But if you use Zotero and others,
Yeah, to add to all this, there's one more AI based tool, and that is called nested knowledge. So those who are interested in AI based tool, try nested knowledge, which has lot of additional features which you would like to explore. Starting with search, it you can give a search to that a search which is similar to PubMed, but you can also search in unpublished data. For example, you have thesis from universities. It can search in that. It searches in Google Scholar also. So all this is Shodh Ganga. It searches in Shodh Ganga also. So it's a new AI tool which I think you should definitely explore.
Right, ma'am is very well pointed. we can also include the unpublished data also, whether it's unpublished paper or like paper presented in the conference, but it's not published in the journal.
I would
Right.
suggest that whenever you think about doing a systematic review, have at least 2-3 persons. One should be an expert, a subject expert, so that you know, even if you create a search strategy, it's a good idea to document everything and ask the senior most or the subject expert to search, because that helps in adding more search terms, removing unnecessary ones, and making your
This is systematic
search
review
outcome
accelerator.
more it's an enhanced one
Yeah, yeah.
with all the
Hmm.
comprehensive literature that you can think of.
Click on PubMed here. Now you click on PubMed
ये
here.
bracket नहीं, pelvic पे. दे रहा हूँ. Hmm.
Oh,
और just यहाँ पे जूम कर लेते हैं. जूम कर लेते हैं सर. एक बार सर्च करिए सर.
ये थोड़ा ना बड़ा. I think practical section will show this. So you know that here you just keep your search strategy, then it will be automatic convert. What will be, how will be look in PubMed, how will look in Obey, Medline, Cochrane, Embase. So Embase, Obey, Embase, Elsevier. So everything you will convert. Just you copy, then you can just little bit change.
Okay.
So this is the shortcut way.
Right.
No, not sentence. Suppose you develop a keyword. I am audible, I think. Yes, sir. Suppose you develop a search strategy for PubMed or Medline. Now you want to use search strategy from the Sinal or search strategy. Then you click on the Sinal. Then it will
बस मैं वो
indicate how it will be looks like in the Sinal.
Right.
Search terms here mentioned in different database headings like
More or less same.
Medline for PubMed. We need to copy that and put it in the respective website and they will do the. Yes. But again, I am saying like Bhavani sir or someone had before. No, you cannot 100% rely on the AI. So it will be give approximately, but some minor error will be coming. Then you can do manually. But 100% it will be reduce your job from time. No. So if you put again search strategy for invest 3 hours, it will take. But if you use this 30 minutes, you can complete.
Right, so but more or less they are same in all engines.
No, sir, because we are not provided. This is a very common term we
Right,
provided. When
right.
you use PubMed, like Mace, if you add Mace in one, but it will be not show Mace in Embase. It will
Right.
automatically convert to M3 because we are not provided here
Right.
Mace and other things.
Right, that's why.
I think.
Okay, sorry for
Thank
it.
you.
Actually, we should catch the time also. So I'm
Right.
very sorry. We will learn on.
Thank you.
Now, a big thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sahu, sir, to felicitate Dr. Lalit, sir, with the memento. I would like to request Ms. Vandana. A big round of applause.